We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.
Hey everybody. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Captain Justice. Yep, you were first one in here. I think you came in shortly after I posted it. Sky Painter, hello. Just came in from Shenanigans. Yes, I'm so happy for her that she hit 1,000 today. That is absolutely awesome. So happy for her. Hope things are good with me. Yep, everything's good. Just getting food before it starts. Well, it started. Hey, Wolfie. Hello, Lynn. Hey, Root Strength. How are you? Hi, Ange. CJ, how are you? Hey, Robin. How are you, dear? Let's see. Captain Justice, CJ. Praying for justice for Lily and Jack. Yes. And they are what matters, right? Like, no matter what, at the end of the day, Lily and Jack are the ones that truly matter in all of this. Betty, hello. Hi, always, yes, always prayers for Lily and Jack. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Kelly, how are you, babe? 60-second warning. We're already there. I'm like, oh my, almost 4 minutes in. It is. Justin and Mike, they both, I had sent them some lyrics and asked them to put it to music, and they were kind enough and wonderful enough to do it. You'll see in the link in in my description. I give them full credit because if it wasn't for them, I would not have had music to it. Abby and Libby, yes. They still break my heart to this day. And hopefully the appeal for their case with, I don't even want to say his name, but we all know what it is, will not go through. And justice will remain, and he will serve his 130 years in prison. Hey, Jesse. Hey, GJ's mom. And Amy. CJ. Thank you. Yes, Lynn. I am okay. I'm all right. I promise, guys. Cindy, good to see you. Kelly. Shenanigans. Congratulations on your 1,000 today. So happy for you. And Ms. Michelle, hello. All right. So, really for today, there were um, two articles that I wanted to go over. One, Shenanigans went over earlier, but there's another one from the Advocate from the 5th that I want to go over. And then I figure we'll play a little bit more um, of the Dum Dum that had went on Sunny's show, and that Daphne was kind enough and patient enough, because I wouldn't have been able to do it, to put together a video of basically a compilation. So this is Lily and Jack, as pretty much everybody knows at this point, went missing from Garlock Road in Lansdowne. Lily, 6, and brother Jack Sullivan, age 4 at the time, now 5, were reported missing from their rural home in Nova Scotia, Canada on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Lily has brown hair and is believed to be wearing pink pants, pink jumper, and pink wellies. And Jack has sandy blonde hair and is believed to be wearing dark clothing with dinosaur wellings. They were reported missing at 10:01 a.m. On the 2nd. You can help by calling the Pictou County RCMP at 902-485-4333 or Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Remember, you can also submit your information anonymously online, and I think it's P3 Tips in the, I don't know if it's in the description. I may have to add the document to the description, because I don't think I remembered to add it in the description of this video. Shenanigans, long time no see. I know, right? It's been forever. So I want to fair use disclaimer. At times, this channel may make use of copyrighted material in accordance with the Fair Use Act. The Fair Use Act is a doctrine in the United States copyright law that allows limited use to the copyrighted material without requiring permission from the right holders under Section 107 of the Copyright Act in 1976, which states allowances is made for fair use of copyrighted material for purposes of commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, education, teaching, and scholarship. It provides for the legal, non-licensed citation and or incorporation of copyrighted materials by others, which might be infringing under other circumstances. So, since that's been said, I will add this. I will put the link in the chat. So this is from the Advocate. Hi, yes, ma'am. How are you tonight? Malaya Brooks Murray, the truth will set you free. That it will, and the first one to talk generally gets the better deal. Hi, Nancy Dar. How are you tonight, dear? The Kush Connoisseur, hello. So this is the link to this. I'm gonna, of course, do my thing, but I'm gonna go off screen. You guys should know how this works by now. I hate being on camera. Absolutely hate it. Okay. Leanne? Leonore? I know I probably just butchered your name. Hello. How are you? Then the rank is too loud for me to be here. Huh? I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand what my brain don't work that well. Okay, so let me make this just a little bit bigger for those of you that want to read along. So, like I said, this was the Advocate. As the calendar turns, leaving 2025 in the rearview mirror, Belinda Gray is hopeful that the saga of the Sullivan children is close to being solved. Her two grandchildren, 6-year-old Lily and her 4-year-old brother Jack, who has since turned 5, went missing last May 2nd, said to have wandered off from their home in Lansdowne Station. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry, got a ding and wanted to check on it. The ring is too loud for me to hear. Oh, can you not hear me? Sounds fine on my end. I said just checking in to watch till hockey game starts. Then the rink will be too loud for you to hear. Oh, okay. Yes. Most likely, probably. Okay. So, where was I? Okay. They have not been seen since, despite a massive search for the two kids involving hundreds of volunteers and police personnel in a case that has captured the attention of Canadians from coast to coast and unfortunately has led to a lot of online speculation about what exactly happened to the siblings. I want to make a correction here. It is not just Canadians that are paying attention. You have a lot of U.S. People paying attention. This, in my opinion, has gone way further at this point than just the Canadian borders. Very little evidence has been reportedly found with respect to their whereabouts, even with the use of cadaver dogs, drones, police helicopters, and multiple searches. Gray said that a widely reported guarantee from the RCMP Major Crimes Unit this past week that the case will be solved has somewhat boosted her spirits. And I'm glad it has. And I fully believe that the RCMP is going to solve this case. They're not just going to not resolve, for those who don't know how to say it, it's resolve. I think that it will be solved. And I think at some point there will be charges laid, and those who are responsible will get a just punishment. But I would like to know from Daniel Martel and Malaya, what do you think should happen to the person or persons who hurt the kids? Because the answer to that will tell us everything we need to go. No. If they're lenient on the person, well, that tells me you probably had something to do with it. If they're harsh on the person, then maybe you didn't. Or maybe you're just lying and trying to cover your tracks. At this point, I don't even know. I'm in New Zealand and have been following this case since the beginning. Exactly. This is way past just the Canadian borders. It is very sad. So true. Lily and Jack are everywhere. There's a bunch of people showing you off. We love you. Exactly. They have a lot more aunts and uncles now than they could have ever hoped for. And sadly, it took them missing to get people. And again, when I talk about people who don't care about Lily and Jack, I am not including Belinda. I am not including Cody. I am not including Chelsea. Because we know that they love the kids. We know that they want the kids home. I'm talking Janie, the McKenzies, the Martells, Malaya, Daniel, those people. It's worldwide that this missing persons case has affected. Praying so hard for Jack and Lily will be found and justice served. TJ's mom, even if they don't get justice on earth, I fully believe that at some point, um, they will get their justice. When they meet their maker, hopefully it doesn't take that long. God, I hope it doesn't take that long. But either way, they will get justice. Remember Don Wells' answer to that question. Very sus. Actually, Robin, I did not follow the Summer Wells case. I don't know why, honestly, but I didn't. So I actually don't know what his answer to that question was. Maybe you can tell me what it was. Thanks, Mom. Agreed. Hello, Cheryl. How are you, dear? Okay. So I'm hoping to get some good news one way or another, Gray said in an interview from her home. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Gray has previously said she doesn't believe the children are still alive, but she still wants to see the uncertainty come to an end, if for no other reason than to bring closure to those who care about the two children. It's given me hope that they're a little closer to figuring things out, she said. Gray, who is the paternal grandmother of the Sullivan sibling, my God, I can't talk. Sullivan siblings, said she is grateful that a lot of people have reached out to her to provide support and a sense of positivity. Just when you think the world is as evil as can be. The children's biological father, Cody Sullivan, doesn't talk about the disappearance of his two children, she added. And a lot of people at the beginning were basically downing Cody for this. But he is going through so much. Put yourself in his shoes for just a moment. He probably has so many things in his head and running through his head. Give the man some grace. He wasn't there. He didn't have anything to do with this. And he's trying to cope with this probably the best way he can. And so all I can say is give the man some damn grace. I have Melissa Summer and the one in Florida and Sebastian. Yeah, I did Sebastian. Muscadabit. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so to keep from having that dinging going on, I needed to mute it. Hello, Amy. Okay, when asked what he thinks should happen to the perpetrator, Don didn't like that the perp would go to prison. Really? That tells me a lot. Because he said he knows what it's like. Something like that. Weird answer. Yeah, that's an extremely weird answer. And like I said, I don't follow the Summer case. But if I heard somebody answer that way and it was their child, I would be extremely suspicious of what their reasoning behind thinking that they shouldn't go to prison. If you did something, then you're going to say you want a lighter sentence or you don't want anything bad to happen, whatever. Whereas if you didn't have anything to do with it, you want them buried under the jail. Right? So the way somebody answers that question can almost give you the amount of guilt that they have in the situation. It is a shame They are so free. I have listened to Justin Clutch Them Pearls and Daphne from Daphne's Case Files talk some on the Summer Wells case, and it's I'm surprised they're still free, honestly, from just what little I've heard. Um, my son and I have been really close. He's closer to his Wait a minute. My son and I have never been really close. He's closer to his father. We talk occasionally, but most of the time he doesn't want to discuss Jack and Lily at all. He says if he doesn't have to hear about it, he doesn't have to think about it, Grace said. And that's exactly what I'm saying. He doesn't want to have to think that his children were unalived by their mother. I wouldn't want to think that. Like, I can't blame Cody for not wanting to think about it and not, because no matter how hard you try, when you have a child missing, the worst runs through your mind. Are they alive? Are they not alive? Are they scared? Are they hungry? Are they cold? Are they crying out for me? And those questions will tear you apart if you let them. So for somebody not to want to think about that, I don't blame them. I really don't. Nova Scotia RCMP Criminal Operations Officer Dan Morrow told the media recently that police have received more than 1,000 tips from the public. More than 8,100 videos have been poured over, and 7 polygraph tests conducted on those closest to the children were passed, which has only deepened the mystery. But for me, if you're a pathological liar, it wouldn't surprise me if you were to pass a polygraph. If you have convinced yourself of the lie, then you would pass the polygraph. So, them passing the polygraph doesn't mean a whole lot to me, because I think Daniel is a pathological liar. I've proved it too many times where he has lied. He has said one thing and then gone back and said something either completely different or different enough that it's considered a contradiction. So it doesn't, in some ways, it doesn't surprise me that him or Malaya would pass a polygraph. But what gets me in this is it says videos have been poured over and 7 polygraphs conducted, tests conducted on those closest to the children were passed. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Maybe 6 of them passed. But remember, Janie couldn't do her polygraph. Her physiology was not suitable. You know, she supposedly had a heart issue that she still hasn't got checked out. So you can't say that 7 were passed because 7 weren't passed. You should have said 6 of them were passed and 1 was not able to be read or something to that nature. Don't say 7 were passed when 7 weren't actually passed, only 6. And when you go over the court documents, the ones that we have access to, I'm hoping that we get some more unredacted court documents soon. But in the court documents we do have, only 6 polygraphs were given. So Haley on Sonny's It's a Crime and Shame said that the 7th polygraph was Patty. On the Drunken Ostrich, he said that it was Justin. Well, I'm going to believe Haley over the ostrich any day and assume that it was Patty. But if Patty has the issues that Haley said she did, with it wasn't dementia, with the alcohol and the memory problems that she has. I don't think that her physiology would be the greatest either. And something that Patty said in the court documents, and I'd have to go back and look at it to know word for word, but she essentially said she hadn't seen them for weeks, but they were just there 2 days prior. So it concerns me as to whether or not Patty is the seventh person or not, but maybe if we get more unredacted court documents, we'll officially know who that seventh person was. Robin says, we know relationships with our grown children can be complicated sometimes. I appreciate Belinda's transparency and honesty. I do too. And nothing that Belinda has ever said to me or in a chat or on a live has ever been proven to be false or other than what it really is. I've always been able to take what she says and back it up in more than one spot. And the stories don't change. Why? Because Belinda is telling the truth. Whereas when you look at Daniel Martell or Malaya or Janie, the stories are constantly changing. Well, the truth does not change. I've said it, I don't know how many times on Sunny's channel and other people's channels. The truth doesn't change. You can ask right now what happened, and 7 years from now, you should still get the same answer because it's the truth. And he can't remember, Daniel Martell can't remember what happened the day before, just hours before Lily and Jack went missing. And something that bugs me when Daniel or Janie are talking, or even Durwood are talking about the kids, when they're talking about Lily and Jack and their family, they're close, right? But they say those kids, the kids. I never really hear them use Lily and Jack's name. And if it weren't for YouTubers or podcasters, I really feel like Lily and Jack's name would not be out there as much as it is. But we'll get into that one in a few. They use the term not lying. Well, here it says past. In the court documents, it says truthful. So I think in the other article, it does say not lying, though, to give fairness to that. Great, Belinda, sorry for your loss. Exactly. My heart goes out to Belinda. It really does. The RCMP spokesperson told the Advocate on December 31st that the investigative team remains committed to pursuing every credible. Durwood, you see that word right here? It says credible. Okay, that means they believe you, or they can back it up, and it's true. You're not credible. Okay? Nothing you say is credible. We'll just leave that there. With every credible lead and determining with certainty what happened to Lily and Jack, but would provide no further comment. So I truly believe that the RCMP are narrowing in. I think they're probably just missing a few key pieces of evidence or a few key pieces of information to lay the charges that they need to lay. So Robin says, we love Lily and Jack. We miss Lily and Jack. I haven't heard that yet from Daniel or Jenny. Or Malaya. None of them. What do? They get on there and Poor, pitiful me. I've lost everything. Oh, my poor dog. He's losing his hair. You know, none of them speak highly of Lily and Jack. When somebody is missing, and I said it the other night, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. When somebody is missing, you generally speak highly of that person. You will generally talk good about them. And unfortunately, I don't see that from Daniel or Janie or Malaya or any of them as far as speaking highly of the kids. Janie's, I can't stand their scream. Could you stand their scream? Yeah, I could, because it'd mean they're alive. It'd mean they're here with us. It'd mean we know where they're at. And it'd mean they're safe. So, yeah, Janie, I could. Sorry, you're a heartless, you know what, that wants to speak badly about two missing children. Robin, because they are guilty of something. Exactly. That's how I feel, honestly. Yes, or Malaya. Yeah. None of them. None of them have anything nice to say. I know all we hear is a bunch of crappage to try to steer away from the only thing that matters, which is Lily and Jack. Yes. And I think Durwood is the king of that. Daniel is the prince of that. And they're fighting for who's going to be crowned king, because neither one of them are spreading honesty and facts. They want to spread misinformation. They want to divert your attention. They want to gaslight you to, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. You're not hearing what you think you're hearing. Even though it come out of our mouth, don't worry about it. Because the only thing that does matter is Lily and Jack. That's it. And finding out where they're at and bringing them home. Because either they're going to be coming home alive and be getting lots of love from Belinda, or they're not with us anymore, which is how I feel. But at least they will be able to be at rest and be at peace. Those people are crazy. They were 4 and 6, exactly. Do you think Malaya is talking? I hope so. I really hope so. I hope that she is talking to the RCMP. I don't think she is, but I would hope that she is. Because otherwise, it doesn't make any sense why she's not begging for her children. She's not begging for somebody to bring them back. She's not begging for their safety. She's not pleading for anything. It's as if she just doesn't care. And I don't know if she's just checked out, or if she's guilty, or if she's talking to the RCMP and she's trying to keep quiet. And if she is talking to the RCMP, the best thing she could do is be quiet. So I hope so, but I also don't, I doubt it, but I would hope so. Yeah. So yeah, even Captain Justice, I would hope so. These precious kids deserve and need to be found. Exactly. They deserve to be found. They deserve to be loved. And I don't feel like the people that were there on the property truly cared or truly loved them. And that is sad. That is extremely sad to me. Robin says she had better be talking, or she will go down just as hard when charges are laid. And that's the thing. Even if she didn't do it, right? Her keeping her mouth shut makes her just as culpable. And in my opinion, and whether or not she was part of it or knew something afterwards, the fact is she's not saying this is where they are, this is what I know, to our knowledge, right? Like I said, she could be talking to the RCMP. But her one job as their mother, her one and only job, was to protect her children. And she failed miserably. She didn't watch her children. She didn't take care of her children. We know that from the court documents. Captain Me Too. These precious kids need to be found. They do. I think Daniel Martell may have threatened her, in my opinion. Okay. Can't say as I disagree with you. But again, what more does she have to lose? She's lost her children. Jack and Lily are missing. She's literally lost them. She has misplaced 2 children. And I don't think she has misplaced them. I think she knows exactly where they're at. She no longer has custody of Meadow. Meadow's in foster care. What more does she have to lose? If she opens her mouth, say Daniel did it, right? Let's play this out. Say Daniel did it. And Malaya knows he did it, and she's keeping quiet. For what reason? If she opens her mouth, Daniel gets arrested. So any threat that he poses to her is null and void, right? So what would be the reason that she would stay quiet? That's what I don't understand. I think she may have been threatened too, but if that's the case, RCMP would protect her. Exactly. She could go to the reservation. The reservation would protect her. She could go through the RCMP. They would protect her. Again, if she were to talk, Daniel would be arrested. Therefore, he's not out to hurt her. Yeah, you could say his family, but again, she would be protected. But again, she's not even publicly, I guess I should say, begging for her children. And that I will not understand. Because when Nick was missing, I was on TikTok, I was on Instagram, I was on Facebook, I was out searching. You couldn't hold me back. Whereas she seems to be doing none of that. Parents should do anything they can for their kids. Exactly. That's their one and only job, is to raise the child safely, to make sure that child grows up to adulthood and is a productive member of society. That's your only job, literally, as a parent, is to raise a productive member of society and raise your child to be happy, healthy, and protected. And she has failed at each and every turn. She doesn't seem to care, in my opinion. Hello, Leslie. I agree with you. She doesn't. Now, we're on the outside looking in. So, is there something going on behind the scenes that we don't know of? Maybe. But she hasn't shown up to a single vigil. She hasn't cried out for her kids. And even in, like I said the other night, the letter that she released, she couldn't even release it in her own voice. Like, she could have said, hold on a minute, I need to collect myself. Give me a minute, I need a moment, whatever. We would have totally understood that and given her a moment to collect herself. But because she isn't doing anything whatsoever, it makes her look guilty, in my opinion. Oh. So, Ron Mexico, hello. You say there is no reason she would feel threatened because, as you say, it would be resolved. So that is a foolish notion. I don't think it's a foolish notion that she would feel threatened. But again, it would be resolved. Like, whatever the case may be, it's going to be taken care of. If it's Daniel, he's going to be in jail. If it's his family, she's got the reserve and the RCMP to protect her and her family. So I just don't see what type of threat and what, like I said, what is she going to lose? She's already lost everything. Robin says, no, not a foolish notion. I agree. It's not foolish, but it is, I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, though, either, right? Let's be honest. Very potential a Casey Anthony 2.0. Possibly. I can see where you're going with that. I can. And she is out there. We heard Haley say she's out there basically living her best life. She was drinking and partying. And I know a lot of people focused on this picture of her at the beach. And when I first seen it, I was like, what? Why? Right? I couldn't understand why she was at the beach. Essentially, not necessarily that she was out having fun, right? Give me just a second. I'm pulling up this picture. This picture right here. But she's somewhat got a smile on her face. This Cindy girl, I think, was her name. She's definitely got a bigger smile. But when Nick was missing, I can't see myself going to the beach. However, I can see myself possibly getting out of the house just to try to live a normal day. But at the same time, I was, wanting my kid back. I was searching, I was looking, I was getting a hold of everybody I could get a hold of, his friends, my friends, people we didn't even know. And so for her not to do that, and on top of that, be at the beach with a smile on her face, right? Maybe she's got the glasses on because she's been crying. I don't know. None of us do. But this does not scream a mother who is out looking for her kids. Like you said, this screams Casey Anthony 2.0, in my opinion. Of course. I think it was just laid out pretty well. While it is foolish, speaking out removes any threat. Exactly. If she were to speak out, that removes any threat, anything that he has over her, right? I agree. 100% I agree on that. Exactly. He would be in jail and band protection. Band is what you're calling the native community, I'm assuming, on that. Plus, the indigenous women aren't easily intimidated, right? Like, she would have, if she were to come out and speak and say, we're hypothetically here, in my opinion, whatever, if it were Daniel and she comes out and she talks, he's arrested, she's got the reserve protecting her, they're not going to let anything happen to her. Whether it's an indigenous woman or a man or whatever, they're not going to let anything happen to her. Plain and simple. They will lay their life down to protect her, in my opinion. Some people say it is a dated picture. She does look younger. No, because this was sent on Snapchat. And I have the Snapchat chat that went with it. But I would have to try to find that, and I'm already behind in chat, so let me catch up, and I might go try to find that real quick. The threats may not be DV, but other things that she may have been involved with that would get her in trouble. Okay, I see where you're going there, Ange, but let me ask you this. Do you think law enforcement, RCMP, is more worried about, let's say, the rug use, right? As opposed to who hurt these kids, right? If she was using rugs and she's afraid she's going to get in trouble, right? Like you say. The fact that the kids are missing, her knowledge of that would overpower the possibility of any rug charges. There was a case that I know about, and the law enforcement went in. There were rugs in the home. They removed the children. One child was hurt. And it was the dad who had done it. And mom said, look, I know there's rugs in the house, but, this is what happened. We've been trying to get away from him. We've left before. It was a true DV situation. She had kept going back. And law enforcement told her, we are not worried about anything in this house. We're not worried about the rugs in the house. We are worried about your children and their safety. She would get queen for a day if she were to talk. That means any charges for rugs or anything else, we don't care about that. We're going to throw that away. File 13 it, put it in the trash can. It doesn't matter. Right? Because what matters is finding Jack and Lily and finding out what happened to Jack and Lily. And the person who hurt Jack and Lily or took off with Jack and Lily or sent Jack and Lily away, they are what matters, not the rugs or anything else. I cannot see or think of any crime that would trump the unaliving or the hurting of two children. I just can't. If you can, please let me know. Some are, some aren't. That's a blanket statement. It is a blanket statement, and you're talking about this one right here, right? Some are and some aren't. Correct. But when you put the indigenous community together, they're not going to let anything happen to her, I think is what Ron Mexico is getting at, and I have to agree with him. Has it been verified for timestamp? Let me get through these comments, Ron. I think I know exactly where the screenshot is at, and we'll look at it together. Cheryl and Malia Brooks Murray. Honestly, she looks 5 years younger. Yeah, but is that because she's relieved to be away from Daniel? Is that because she's got less stress on her now? I don't know. We'll look at it here in just a minute. That looks like a lake area. I think it is, but they call it a beach. I'm not sure if it's an actual beach or if it's a lake. I'm not sure. In my opinion, she knows exactly what happened. She may not know where Daniel Martell put the kids. And I can agree with you there. I think if she doesn't have knowledge of where the kids are, I can see that as opposed to she doesn't know what happened. I would believe that she knows what happened and just doesn't know where they are above not knowing anything. So Nana says, hello, welcome, Nana. Remember what Wade said about Malia Brooks Murray? That was telling to me. You're gonna have to refresh my memory as to which statement you are talking about, Nana, because there was a lot in that video. Um, Nana, you mean about Malia Brooks Murray locking the kids in their room? No, about her living it up and not looking for her children. Exactly. And not only did Wade say that, but Haley backed that up a couple weeks ago when she was on It's a Crime and Shame with Sunny. She said she was living it up and drinking and all of this stuff. So, again, it's not just one person saying it, it's more than one. So that leads me to believe it's probably true. Everyone has an opinion, but any woman who has been traumatized is at risk of threats, indigenous or not. There are a lot of things we really don't know still. And I agree, Kelly, there are. There are a lot of things we don't know. And I guess for me, that's one of the troubling things. But again, I feel like if there was a legitimate, credible threat, that if she were to talk, she would have the protection against that threat. I have no idea what to believe. Many say that Wade interaction was staged. Not saying it was, just that I don't know because people are saying it. Okay. How do I put this? I'm not saying that it was staged, but at the same time, that person went there with the intent to get somebody talking. They went there with the intention of making the video. They went there with, I will give them the benefit of the doubt and say the best of intentions. But do I think it's staged as far as Wade knew it was happening and Wade specifically said certain things? No. Hello, Betty. Welcome in. Kelly, is Ron Mexico Daniel Martel? No, Ron Mexico is not Daniel Martel. I have that from somebody that I trust. Do I personally know who Ron Mexico is? No, but from what I know, he is not Daniel Martel. Kelly, was Ron Mexico a Daniel Martel alias? Again, not that I know of. Captain Justice, if you're saying yes to Ron Mexico, you would therefore be incorrect. I wonder if she's afraid to tell on Daniel because she went along with the story on May 2nd and lied to law enforcement. Would she be considered an accessory? Yes, Jesse. Welcome in. I don't know if I seen you earlier. So if she knew what happened or she learned later what happened and she covered for the person who did it, let's say in this case, in your question, Daniel, then yes, she would be what's considered an accessory after the fact, which means if I go and murder somebody, red rum somebody, unalive somebody, and I come to you and I say, look, I really messed up. It got out of control. This is what happened. I need you to help me hide this body. I need you to help me get rid of this evidence, XYZ. You would then, if you go along with that, would be an accessory after the fact because you didn't help with the unaliving, but you helped with the cover up. Hopefully that makes sense. Kelly, yeah, everyone has an opinion for sure. I don't think there is any evidence she was traumatized. In my opinion, she could probably kick the crap out of Daniel. I would agree with that. I think my money would be on Malaya. Hair, makeup, filter, huge difference. Exactly. And when you're talking about the beach picture and her looking younger, I never even thought about that. But yeah, you know, a filter that makes you look a lot younger. And she does have hair, her hair nicer. It's not just in a messy bun or a messy ponytail. And it does look like she has makeup on. So yeah, that would make her look a little younger. Just the facts, ma'am. Welcome in. That's an old picture of Cheryl and Malaya. In my opinion, she's heavier now. And Cheryl's hair. Maybe. Like I said, I have the... Let me look for it real quick here, because I think I know exactly where it's at. I just have to... Okay, maybe I don't know where it's at because it's not... Is it here? Mm-mm. Give me just a second, guys. I'm looking in these because I, for the most part, have it organized, but not 1000%. So let me go. Let me check one more spot here and see if it's in there. If not, I will have to look for it, and we may have to cover that on another day. Sorry. Okay. So it's not where I thought it was. So I will have to go back and try to find that, because like I said, I know I have it. But the question is, well, is this it here? Hold on. Did I just find it? No. Nope, I didn't. That's not what I was. Okay, so I will have to try to...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, stop. I'll have to try to find it, and we'll have to go over that a different day. If Daniel doesn't know, why keep telling lies? Exactly. Exactly, Betty. He can't keep his story straight. How do you know that? How do you know that, Ron Mexico? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Hi, Melissa in chat. Dickwood is big mad today. He is. He's very mad right now at Jessie. If that's the case, then she's an idiot, because speaking out with get her, I think you mean would get her off the hook, and she could get her version or narrative. Immunity would be on the table. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. The queen for a day is the immunity. Is Shannon here? She was earlier. I don't know if she still is. The next time you insult someone, you will be timed out. Who did he insult, Kelly? Admittedly, I don't, just a hunch. Ron Mexico is not Daniel Martell. No, he's not. Hey, Carla, how are you, dear? Melissa, good evening, Mod. Chat, good evening as well. Big hello from Newfoundland. That's what I'm saying. Kelly, explain to me who he insulted. What did I miss? No one is an idiot, so please refrain. Not so much as long as he's not calling one of us idiots. If he's calling Daniel or Malaya, then let him get by with it. But if he's calling one of us idiots, yes, please, Ron Mexico, don't insult the other chatters. But if you're calling them idiots, I can understand. Malaya Brooks Murray, the truth will set you free, and it will. First one to speak gets it. First to talk is the first to walk. Yes, exactly. Do you mean by saying that Malaya Brooks Murray would be an idiot if... Yeah, if that's what he said, that's fine. The first one to talk gets the deal. Exactly. Ron Mexico, it's about Jack and Lily. Let's be nice. Unless I've missed something, because I've read numerous of his messages, I don't see that he's being mean. I am the channel. I want you guys to be able to speak what you think. I want you guys to be able to talk to me. Let's talk it through. Timing out and things like that, if they're overly rude to me or a guest, I can understand. However, if they're just saying that Daniel or Malaya would be an idiot if, or she would be an idiot not to speak, I can understand that wording. So unless he's calling one of you guys an idiot specifically, he's okay. In my opinion, I don't think she was afraid of him as much as people want us to think. She had it made there, in my opinion, just too much partying. I think she had it made as well. Like, right? They're essentially living there for free. There's no rent. They have a well, from what I understood. So even if they had a water bill, it wouldn't have been that much. The electric bill, I'm sure, wasn't that much. They had wood for heat. So it's not like they had a lot of bills, right? It's not like they had to pay out a lot. I agree. I don't think that she's as afraid of him as people want us to believe. Botox, makeup done, nails, eyebrows, hair did, loss of weight, a bit of weight from stress. I can see it. Yeah, I mean, you do lose weight from stress, but again, we don't know for sure. And like I said, I've got the screenshot of the whole conversation. I just have to go find it. Where is your dono button? You mean my donate button? I don't have a donate button. I am not monetized at this time. Yes, that makes sense. So possibly a reason she's not talking, maybe rugs, neglect, or possibly an accessory. And I think more of an accessory, more than she did it herself, but neglectful for sure. And we have pictures of the bruising, right, on the kids. So definitely neglectful. And again, you are watching a man and staying with a man who is abusing your child. That is a big red flag to me. What does that mean, Ron Mexico? A do no button. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, I think he means donation button, but I'm not monetized, so I don't have a donation button. Everyone needs to stop accusing people of this and that and causing shit that does not matter at all. Focus on the kids that matter here, not the petty foolishness that is happening every day. I agree, Murray. The kids are what matters. The kids are and should be the main focus. That's why I'm doing this live tonight and focusing on the kids. Like I said, if I had time, I might cover some more of the Durwood stuff, but I don't think I'm going to have time as I'm already behind in chat and I still have one more article that I want to read. Just the facts, ma'am. She does look slimmer. Could just be a stress diet. Yeah, possibly. Very possible. Sorry, guys, trying to catch up on chat real quick as fast as I can. Lobster has changed his name, but he used to see Malaya Brooks Murray quite often, dressed to the nines, single, and ready to mingle. Yes, Lobster changed his name to Pictobub. Last I knew, that was it. And yes, that has been reported, but it wasn't just reported by him, right? It was reported by Haley. And you can see it in the picture with Cheryl. So again, when you have more than one source telling you the same story, essentially, that leads me to believe it's true. April says, I heard it's an old picture. Again, I have the thing. I might look for it again here in a minute, but right off the top of my head, I didn't immediately find it. FYI, that is not an old picture of Cheryl. Christine was on TikTok and said that she got Malaya Brooks Murray out to take her mind off the kids. It's on Hidden in the Fog. And it is fact. That is correct. She did say that she got Malaya to go to the beach. And I actually have that link. We might listen to it. Actually, Tinker, thank you for reminding me about that. And yeah, we might take a look at it. Thank you for being here. I'm good. Hope you're well. Okay. Hopefully, I'm getting ready to get caught up here, guys. In my opinion, everyone needs to ignore Durwood. Yeah, and like I said, that would be the last thing on the agenda today. However, if you guys wanted to go over it, we would. He was not. It was in chat. Okay, I'm confused. I'm behind. So, just because Cheryl went to the beach with Malaya Brooks-Murray doesn't mean it's not an older picture. No, just the facts, ma'am. I remember what Cheryl said. She said she got her out of the house and took her to the beach to get her mind off the kids. And so I remember that, and that's one of the reasons I know it's not an older picture. But again, I will try to find that and we'll listen to Hidden in the Fog here in just a moment, actually. Right after I read this other article and I get caught up. Melissa, I live in rural Newfoundland and I paid electricity only, and I'm paying $450 to $500 a month. Seriously? Holy crap. And I thought my $100 a month was bad. Holy smokes. Really? Are you serious, Carla? Are you pulling my leg? It's that much? Wow. Ron, Mexico. Have a good night, people. Have a good night, Ron, Mexico. Okay. Lobster is still around. Hello, Tinkerbell, Tinker. Okay, I am finally caught up. So, let's read this other article real quick. I know Shan went over it. And then we will go listen to Hidden in the Fog. And Cheryl was on there. I think somebody else was on there too, if I remember correctly. So let's read this other article real quick. And then we will go watch that. Now that I'm finally caught up. So let me, again, I like to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can read along or read ahead. I love these pictures. I can't say as I've seen these pictures before of the kids eating their cotton candy. Jack's looking at it like, what is this stuff? This is pure sugar. And Lily, of course, is licking it off of her fingers with a big old smile on her face. Lily and Jack Sullivan's names grace decorations on their paternal grandmother's Christmas tree, but Belinda Gray is under no illusion the children are still alive. Lily, 6, and her 4-year-old brother Jack were first reported missing from their home in rural northeastern Nova Scotia by their mother, Malaya Brooks-Murray, at 10:01 a.m. on May 2nd. Brooks-Murray told police she believed the two children had wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station. Police started looking for the missing kids less than a half an hour later, but so far, one of the largest searches in the province has ever seen has been fruitless. My place is decorated. I have 4 other grandchildren that come, but it doesn't feel like Christmas at all, Gray said in an interview from her home in, I don't remember how you said to say that. I don't remember how you said to say it. When they vanished, Gray hadn't seen Lily or Jack in person for 18 months, since they moved to Lansdowne Station to live in a ramshackle mobile home with their mother and her then partner, Daniel Martell, their stepfather. I would say ramshackled mobile home is being nice when it comes to describing that, but Gray has fond memories of the 2 children. Lily, when she smiled, her eyes lit up a room, said her grandmother. Her whole face glowed when she smiled. She was full of life, inquisitive, curious. She mimicked me like a little robot. By contrast, her little brother very rarely smiled, Gray said. Jack was never a smiley kid, even as a baby, said his grandmother. He was very curious and always studied things that he would play with, one thing at a time, whereas Lily would dance circles around him. Lily was very outgoing and very reserved. So, in contrast to how Daniel and Malaya and Janie talk about the kids, you can see that Belinda loves the kids by the way she talks about them. It's just plain as day, and it couldn't be any more different. Depending on the time of year as well. New Brunswick is outrageous too. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy that it's that much. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. I'm originally from Toronto, Ontario. I've been living a new friend for 3 years now, and I love it here. I think you mean you've been living in Newfoundland for 3 years. That picture is precious, isn't it? It's just, it's so cute. It's one I hadn't seen before. No, ma'am, that's what I pay monthly. Every month, $450 to $500, depending on the time of year as well. I pay a little more in the winter, but summertime around. Oh wow, that is crazy. Like that's crazy. I wouldn't have thought that much. You are good as long as you are happy there. I would have thought, maybe most like 150, like, and that would have been tops at the top of the list, or at the top of end of the scale of what I thought. Kelly, I prefer to be Newfoundland. I hate Ontario. It's a rat race up there. It's so much quieter here in Newfoundland with all that beautiful countryside. Holy seriously, $600 here in Nova Scotia. That is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That blows my mind. So an intense search. In October, the RCMP brought in cadaver dogs to search 40 kilometers of territory, but they failed to find any sign of the missing children. Investigators employed 22 of 23 of the Providence's ground search and rescue teams during the hunt for Jack and Lily, as well as 2 teams from New Brunswick. All told, they spent 12,253 hours searching for the kids. Mounties continue to work on hundreds of tips generated by the case, and searchers have combed through almost about 8.5 square kilometers of terrain in this probe. I've got 25 years on the force, and I absolutely expect to solve this case before I retire. That does not mean that they're just gonna, we think we know. No, he said that he absolutely expects to solve it. That means he knows it, he can prove it, and he has a conviction. In my opinion, that's what solving it means. Not just, well, we know what happened. Too bad we can't prove it. That's not what that means to me. This file will get solved long before that. Again, solved. Not, we know who did it, but we can't prove it. He urged anyone with information about this case to contact investigators. Deep down, I believe there are people somewhere out there that may have information that will help us. I agree. Somebody knows something, somebody heard something, somebody's seen something. Speak up. It's been over 8 months. Speak up already. I have a mouse somewhere. There it is. Carla, I had a Newfie rescue water trained dog. Moose was awesome. That would be kind of cool. Well, let's say, yes, you're correct. I've been living in Newfoundland now for 3 years this March. My uncle is from Pictou, Nova Scotia. I don't know why when I say Nova Scotia, I get an accent. Don't ask. He got to go back one time from BC to visit his family before he passed. He loved it there. I am so sorry to hear about that. Well, hopefully, I just got a wood burning stove put in my trailer style home, and it's going to cut back on the electricity bill. Oh, well, I hope so. Maybe that's why your bill is so high. Because isn't it like super cold there? Like most of the time? Even in May they were burning wood. So hopefully. Gosh, I hope so. That'll save you a lot of money. Um let's see. Hundreds of RCMP officers from Nova Scotia and elsewhere who have been involved in the case headed into the holidays knowing the search that's gone on more than 7 months has failed to produce answers. I and some of those channels are going to say, well, he says it failed to produce answers. It failed to produce answers as in they are no closer to proving who did what because they haven't found the kids. Not that they can't prove anything, just that they haven't found the kids. So let me just stop you right there, you little drunken ostrich, from twisting those words. I think almost everyone on the team and almost everyone that I've worked with has kids or at least has relations who have kids. The reality is they're very vulnerable people in our society and need protection. And this is a very difficult file for all involved because we want the answers just as much as everyone else. It's unacceptable for two kids to go missing and the RCMP not to find answers, he said. We're not going to stop until we do. The RCMP are very confident they will solve the case. I worry sick that they may not, Gray said. Melinda, I fully believe that they will solve this case. I really, really fully believe that. Well, guys, no need to worry about Dickwood anymore. He's done with all the filthy half humans. His words, hey, works for us. Because it ain't about him. Wolfie, I just wanted to say sorry for imploding in the chat last night. It wasn't you, Melissa, and it wasn't you, Kelly. Please don't take offense to it. People are losing focus on Jack and Lily. They are. And I thank you for your apology. And I too am sorry that I did not realize what was up. I'm sorry you did not know about it. I didn't realize you didn't know about it because it had been out for months. So we will chalk that up to both of us were on edge and move forward. Frequent visits. Gray used to see a lot of the children even after their mother split from her son Cody Sullivan, their biological father, more than 3 years back. The whole family was into their lives when her dad and her son were together. Wait a minute. The whole family was into their lives when her and my son were together. There were many visits, she said. Once they split up, Malaya would bring the kids here just about every 2 weeks. Those visits continued for about a year after the breakup. And on one of the last visits, she stated that she had met somebody. Gray said when she met Daniel, she told us that he was uncomfortable with her coming here. So right away, we said, well, then why don't you bring him along? So let me stop right there for a minute. I have said that, in my opinion, Daniel Martell is abusive. And this somewhat proves my point. A lot of times an abuser will try to separate you from your family, from your friends. They will try to isolate you. And in my opinion, that's exactly what he did. He isolated her out there, away from family, away from people that she could go to. right? Just like when she reportedly came back that day and said, I'm moving to mom's. Do you want to go? And he's like, hell no. Right? Why? Because you can't control her there. So, in my opinion, this is just another point on the line to show that Daniel Martell was abusive and controlling. And of course, that is in my opinion. I only pretty much use electricity when I need it. I'm constantly turning lights off all the time and the hot water to a minimum. Oh gosh, not me. I gotta have my hot water about ready to boil. When I imploded to Wolfie, I'm so mad at certain people in this, in my opinion, and I'm just an older couch sleuth, in my opinion, who lives true crime stuff. Hey, we all have days. What matters is Jack and Lily and us keeping their names out there. Brooks Murray promised she'd mention it to him, Gray said, but the next time she came, she stated that it's just not working out for her coming here. Why? Why was it not working out, Malaya? Were you having to deal with him throwing a hissy fit? I mean, in my opinion, that's probably what happened. Daniel Martell was jealous or afraid that she would get back with Cody, or didn't want her around people because he wanted to isolate her. That way he could have more control over her. Because that's very common in DV cases. Like I said, for a time, Gray visited Lily and Jack in the Truro area where they were staying with their mother's family. So I can only assume that that is when they were living with Patty. That worked out good for a while, Gray said, but in the fall, Jack turned 3. Gray said when she took him gifts and Halloween treats for both kids, something felt off. Malaya seemed to be in a rush to hurry our visit. Was Daniel there? I would like to know. I might have to ask Belinda, was Daniel there for that visit? Or was he going to be there and that's why she was trying to hurry it up, because she was hiding the fact that she was letting the kids see Belinda. I'll have to ask her that if I remember. After about a year in Truro, Lily and Jack, their mom, her new partner, moved to Lansdowne Station. It was Daniel's mother that gave them her big trailer, and she moved into an RV. I don't know that I would call it a big trailer, but compared to the RV, I guess it is. When Malaya told me she was moving to Pictou County, she told me that his mother had a farm, and right away I was picturing fields like farmland, and I told her that sounded awesome. The kids would have a big yard to play in. That would be wonderful. You definitely misrepresented that, Malaya. Just because she had chickens doesn't mean it's a farm. They maintained light contact through Facebook, Gray said. Before Lily's birthday this past March, Gray spoke with Brooks Murray about sending money to buy a gift for the girl. Whoever wrote that, you really could have worded that a little bit different. You didn't have to call Lily the girl. I said, I just want you to know that don't think we don't love them, because we think of them all the time. She said, look, I was thinking we're probably going to come by for a visit, and I was ecstatic. I told her we can't wait. You got her hopes up, Malaya, and then you dashed them. That visit never took place. When Gray heard Malaya was pregnant with Martell's child, she chalked up the lack of visits to that. I congratulated her, and I figured, okay, so this must be why it's been a little distant right now, because I mean, she's pregnant, and I made up excuses about why she was too busy. I think we all do that in life. We make excuses for other people. and why they are not in our lives. AJ, isolate and control. Exactly. So Belinda seen the kids a year prior to them going missing. Yes. That's how I read that. Yes. It says um she was seeing them at first, it says up to 18 months. So before they went missing. So yeah, I mean a year and a half, give or take. Yes. But yes, that's how I read it too. Melissa, I have friends that don't see their family but call them. It's because they party and they don't want to hear people tell them off about it, so they stay home in their own little world. Yeah, maybe. I mean, whether or not she didn't want Belinda seeing her into rugs, or whether or not it was her being isolated due to TV, there's a bunch of possibilities. Give me 1 second, guys. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to read that right now? Because I know you're watching. Um, so am I allowed to read what was just said? Okay. So, um, so did she meet Daniel? Well, not that I know of. So when I said I would have to ask about the visit being rushed, whether or not Daniel was there or whether or not he could have been there, I would have to ask. I have received a message from Belinda. It states, the last few visits at Patty's were a little rushed. We believe Daniel may have been upstairs or downstairs. His coats and boots were there. We never met him. So there's the answer to that. And the answer to my question as far as whether or not he was there or on his way. Melissa, in my opinion, and only my opinion, Daniel Martell was controlling rug addict that was controlling every aspect of Malaya's life, including Jack and Lily. Carla, I have to agree with you, and in my opinion, I do. That's a good question, Marie. I don't think so at that time. No, she's never met him, or had never met him up until that point. Math doesn't add up 18 months if it was Jack's third birthday. So the article says 18 months was when she last seen them, but had called and messaged through Facebook after that, right? So she wasn't seeing them, but she was still keeping in contact with Malaya through Messenger or text message or whatever. Belinda said Daniel was welcome to come over too, but that didn't happen. She did. She offered it. Lynn, I hear you. Some people are either pointing fingers, blaming, or shaming. People are keeping secrets and pretending to be other handlers to protect themselves or to create drama. Yeah, I think we know a few that are definitely just trying to create drama. Um, so at first in the photos of Jack and Lily their mom posted on social media, they looked well cared for, Grace said. They were happy, and I just told myself it was okay if I didn't see them because they were living a good life. After the baby was born, the photos their mom posted of Jack and Lily started to dwindle. She started worrying about seeing a big difference in the kids, and I kept telling myself, she's got a new baby, and I know having a new little one, it can be a little bit rough. Then Gray's son lost his job and stopped paying Malaya Brooks Murray child support. I had no idea they were having other money troubles at that time. Gray learned of Lily and Jack's disappearance from a family member. She was shocked the next day to see the yard around the mobile home where they were living was littered with old cars and junked appliances. I'm on the poor side, but you can still fix up what you have, Gray said. It was very run down. there was a lot of trash around. Gray first met Martell. So there's, again, your answer. She first met Daniel in the days after Lily and Jack went missing. He seemed to be fairly concerned, Gray said. Malaya told me on Saturday, which is the day after Jack and Lily vanished, that she'd been in the woods, that he's been in the woods since the kids went missing, that he's been scouring the woods ever since. Well, Malaya, why didn't you leave Meadow with your family and go look for your kids? You're welcome, Marie Antoinette. I believe, in my opinion, that day in Malaya was supposed to go see Belinda with the kids for that holiday. I believe Daniel didn't want her to go. That's why Malaya didn't go. Maybe. Can someone clarify, in the U.S., moms get child support from? What do you mean? Yeah, moms get child support. Dads get support too. Moms and dads both can pay child support. It just depends on custody and other things. And it varies. The state, correct? Is Canada different? Either way, the state government pays the child support, right? State government pays it? No, my state government did not pay child support for my kids. So that doesn't have much bearing in this, I don't think. I know when Cody stopped paying. It was somewhat alluded to here. But no, I don't know if Canada does, but I know for a fact in the U.S., the state government does not pay your child support. Now, you can get welfare and you can get assistance, but that's not the government paying the child support. And in fact, a lot of times in the U.S., if you go to get assistance, they make you get child support, and they make the other parent, they can make the other parent pay back a part of the assistance that you get. I'm not sure, but I would assume Americans receive child support. Yes. So in other words, Malaya stopped going to see Belinda because she became pregnant with baby Meadow, and Daniel started controlling her life after she became pregnant. He was controlling it, Carla, before then, before she got pregnant. The government pays child support, ? Yeah, no. Government does not pay our child support. I did not lay down with the government and have children. They're not going to pay it. If they're lucky, yes, they get child support. Exactly. Why would the government pay the child support? Kelly, if the divorce is finalized and the mother obtains custody, yes, the judge will decide what ID will be from the father. Yeah. So when you get divorced, or even if you were never married, when you go for a custody hearing, generally you have to prove that father to be the father, or they can stipulate that they're the father. And then there's a whole form and a calculation. And there's a guy in southern Indiana. Him and his cousin decided to have a who can make the most babies contest. And I think they had like 25 or 26 kids between the two of them. And one of his kids, he paid, like Benny, he paid like $5, something like that, $5 or $10 a month. But then for another child, he'd paid almost $200. So it really just varies. And it can be taken, they can pay it, or it can be taken directly out of their check if they're working. There's a bunch of different variables. It's taken out of your income here in the U.S. Yes. In some cases, not in all. That makes sense. Garnish the wages. Yes. If you have a child, pay to raise it. Exactly. And what gets me is the people that are like thousands and thousands of dollars behind. And then in the United States, if you don't pay your child support, they can throw you in jail. Right. And it's like, really? How do you expect them to work and pay their child support? So we have what's called a work release, where essentially they're in jail at night, but they can go to work during the day. Um, and they can garnish their wages. If you win the lottery and you owe back child support in the United States, they will take the winnings. They will take your tax check. If you owe back child support, they will take your tax check. So there's a bunch of different ways. Also in Canada, they might require a DNA test if welfare insists that the mother goes after child support to prove who the father is. Sometimes Cool Cucumber, they will do that in the US as well, or the father can stipulate to he is the father. It just depends. Carla, Melissa, in my opinion, I believe Daniel Martell was on the meth or other substances before he met Malaya. I agree. But Malaya, not knowing anything about Ruggs, got played like a fool. That's where I disagree with you. I think she knew very well what Ruggs were. Whether or not he hid that from her, I can see that. But she was not this naive person. She knew damn good and well what Ruggs were. A dad's wages can be garnished for child support. Yes, a freaking course. You have to prove the father is the father. You just can't pick any Tom, Dick, or Harry to go after for support. Yeah. So with my kids, we didn't have to do a DNA test because my ex-husband admitted, yes, I'm the father. And was on the birth certificate. He accepted that the kids were his. However, a family member of mine had to actually get a DNA test because he said, well, I don't know that I'm the father and I'm not going to pay for a kid that's not mine. So they did do a DNA test. There was a wild case where multiple DNA were required and the father turned out to be her welfare worker. And yes, he was fired. Oh, wow. Yep, that's not good. Thank you, Kelly. No, I meant if the father won't pay, they can jail the father, and in the state pays her, right? I'm sorry, this is just what I've been told. I haven't been through custody. Okay, so yes, they can put a parent, male or female. If the mom owes child support to the dad or the dad owes child support to the mom, in the States, if you are behind on child support, I don't remember how much you have to be behind, but you can be put into jail. You can be put into a work release. There's all kinds of things that they can do. They've got it. Now they can actually take your license away in the United States. If you're too far behind on child support, they will go to the DMV and say, well, this can't drive no more until he's caught up. So there's a lot of ways that they do things. Like I said, they take your tax check, they'll take lottery winnings, they'll garnish your check. Sometimes they don't garnish your check. If you owe child support and you get in a big wreck and you get some sort of settlement for the injury, they can take that. They'll take your driver's license. There's a couple different ways that they'll do it, but yes. But the government itself does not pay. No. See, Sharon, they'll take away your driver's license. Yes, ladies, it is like that in Canada as well. I'm wondering how significant a difference child support was for her when he stopped working. Um, I don't know because I don't know how much that child support was. I hear this story elsewhere. In Canada, there's a third party called Fro. They take child support off your paycheck and give to that part. Okay. Honestly is the best policy. So honesty is the best policy. Respect is what you get when you give. You command transparency, but never got it back in return. Take care. Okay, I must have missed something there. Obviously, Marie missed it too. Yes, and if you are really far behind in court ordered, yes, they can have wages garnished or jail. If you're saying I commanded transparency from you, I did no such thing. Okay, so I don't know what's going on here. My son is in Ontario as well. So, in other words, Daniel was controlling Malaya's life when she was living with her grandmother Patty. I think so. I really do. If you want my honest opinion, I think so. Can I prove it? No, but I do believe so. Um, the mobile home where they were living sits along a gravel road surrounded by dense woods. The woods is a giant maze that if you are not crawling under something, you have to climb over it. There's no way whatsoever those kids would want to do that. The woods were that bad. The little girl did not like bugs, but her grandmother Lily had that princess thing about her even as a baby, so I could not see her wanting to go there at all. Jack was curious and did like bugs, Gray said, but from all indications from all the people on the property, he did not like the woods because he wouldn't walk or kept tripping or falling. So that tells me that the kids wouldn't go into the woods. And I agree. But yet, Janie's first thought and her first instinct was to go search the woods, even though she had to practically drag Jack into the woods. Yes, they will garnish your tax refunds. So, in other words, yes, I believe so. I read that one. So cool as a cucumber. Is that why Daniel Martell didn't do his taxes? A rumor. Maybe his ex was going to get any kind of refund. Possibly. I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the United States, if you make under, I think it's under $6,000. And it used to be. I don't know if it's still this way. But it used to be if you made under a certain amount of money, you didn't have to file taxes. So maybe it's that way in Canada. I don't know. I don't know that much about Canada. I can't remember where the guy is from, but I remember something about a doctor, fertility doctor, to be exact, was injecting. Yes, and that fertility doctor, I think he had 20 some odd kids, and like it ended up being like the kids are afraid that they're gonna go to date somebody and it's gonna be a half sibling because he was injecting his own material to impregnate these women. Melissa, that's why Wade doesn't work or have a driver's license because he owes so much child support for Kiki, and she is like 18. I don't know that. I haven't heard that. I'll take your word for it, but I haven't heard that. But I mean, it's a possibility. Can't remember exactly how many children came forward. Yeah, I know what case you're talking about. They made a documentary. It was on lifetime, I think. Re-implement hit me back in a little while. And the ticks have been bad, yeah. What do you mean? She means message her back. Get with her in a little bit. That's what that means. Cool. No, he did taxes late, but they were done. Okay. This chat is all over the place tonight. It is, but I like it like that because then we can talk about different things and everybody gets to get their opinion out. We're supposed to file every year. Glad I'm not the only one confused. You guys are starting to confuse me. Get a hold of me when this is over. Oh, we're in a twilight zone. I know, right? Like we're all over the place tonight. So let me finish out this article and then I may just do the hidden in the fog video maybe tomorrow because I don't want this live to be too awfully long. Gray has her theories about what happened to Lily and Jack. Now she's looking for evidence about what was going on in their lives before the children vanished. I know Daniel's family is all pushing that the children were taken. I don't believe that. It's possible, but I don't believe it. She said that is what his side of the family has been preaching. I do not believe it. Mounties also say they don't have any direct evidence of the children being abducted. Gray knows there are wild animals in the area, including coyotes and bears, but she doubts they attacked her grandchildren. You would find remains, Gray said. Nothing noting searchers also told her they kept an eye on the sky looking for carrion-eating birds that would circle a fresh kill in the woods. Well, that's something new that I hadn't heard any of the searchers say. So that's good to know. But if it were to be an animal, like the animals aren't going to eat the backpack. The animals aren't going to eat the diaper. The animals aren't going to eat the shoes. And they're not going to be able to eat both kids at the same time. And there would be blood. There would be some sort of evidence, right? So I just, I have a hard time believing that it was an animal attack. I have a hard time believing that. A recent case in the news was a DNA test lab was guessing instead of running the actual DNA test. And it was proven after a father asked the court for a retest and it proved he was not the father. Oh, wow. Well, that's screwed up. We have control of the vertical and horizontal. You do actually get to choose. For some reason, it doesn't give me the option to do the vertical, which is perfectly fine with me. I don't like having both of them. Really not chatting mood, to be frank. Sorry, Marie. Melissa, in my opinion, I think people were just looking at different ways. People may have stressed out in the home with no money, etc. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. And with no money coming in, yeah, I'm sure it created stress and I'm sure that it caused arguments in the home. In my opinion, most men do not like to get charity from other people. Maybe Daniel's different. I don't know, but I think, in my opinion, again, and this is, yes, a blanket statement, and I mean nothing by it, but most people, men especially, do not like to set their pride aside and get help from other people. So getting help from Patty to pay insurance and to get plates and to get food and things of that nature when he's the one that told Malaya he would take care of her, I'm sure was an issue. I don't know. Maybe not. That was a Canadian DNA lab, by the way. Okay. Well, definitely different. Haven't heard that before. Okay, on the morning Lily and Jack were reported missing, Martell has said he was laying in bed with Malaya and their new baby when Lily came into the bedroom. She had a pink shirt on. We could hear Jackie in the kitchen. He said a few minutes later, we didn't hear them, so I went out to check. The sliding door was closed. Their boots were gone. He surmised publicly that the children slipped outside through the sliding door. Martell said when they noticed the two children were missing, he immediately jumped in a white sport utility vehicle and searched neighboring roads looking in culverts. By the time he returned home, the RCMP were there, having been called by the children's mother. Well, remember, he also said the very first thing he did was run up in the woods, and it didn't take him but 30 seconds to survey all this area. And then he came back down. And then another time he got in the car and surveyed all the dirt roads and the culverts and was waist deep in water and could have died and all. Like, his story of what he first did has changed several times. Kind of curious about a photo of a female with a kid on her hip named Meadow, who claims to be Meadow's mom, according to the comments. That kid sure looks like Malaya Brooks Marty. Okay. It is nothing. They are public. Daniel is posting pictures. Malaya is posting pictures. It is nothing to go steal a picture and claim you are somebody you're not. So, unless you speak to the person or know the person, I would put very little faith in that. Yeah. So, photo was posted just a few weeks before Jack and Lily went missing. Again, I don't know. I haven't heard that. On the weekend after they vanished, Brooks Murray told CTV that Jack and Lily were not typically the type of children who would go outside on their own. I just want to remain hopeful, but there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst, Malaya Brooks Murray said at the time. Soon after the children disappear, Brooks Murray reportedly left Martell and the county with their baby to stay with family. Martell has said that he provided the RCMP with his cell phone and that he worked with investigators. Okay. That right there bugs me. Because if you go back to what Daniel claims, is he offered his cell phone and the RCMP didn't want it. They said, oh, we'll come get it in a week or so. And then they come got it and brought it back a couple days later. So I do not have the document up, so I can't tell you the exact days of when they took the phones. But this is where RCMP, and one of the reasons I think RCMP screwed this up is because the very first thing they should have done was close down that scene. And that means having those phones put in airplane mode and looked at real quick. It doesn't take that long to do a Cellbrite download. It really doesn't. They could have done that at the command post. Bingo, bango, done. Give them their phones right back. You've already got the information. In that case, Malaya wouldn't have had time to delete an app. I think there were some major screw-ups by the RCMP, and I really hope and I pray that those screw-ups don't come back to bite them in the ass when this goes to trial. So Mounties conducted at least 4 polygraphs during their investigation. Martell's test early on in the probe indicated he was truthful, as did the test for Brooks Murray, according to documents police used to obtain search warrants in this case. The children's mother told police at one point their biological father might have picked them up and taken them to New Brunswick, but investigators met with Sullivan on May 22nd. Again, Um, Belinda, don't take this wrong, because I'm not meaning it how it's about to come out. But the kids went missing May 2nd, and they waited till May 22nd to come talk to Cody. Like, that doesn't, give me just a second here, guys. I want to look this up real quick, because surely they didn't wait that long, right? Okay, on 5/7. Okay, I had to check that. So on 5/7, so they didn't wait 20 days. I was going to say, wait a minute. But again, Malaya is saying, well, maybe Cody did it. Well, you're wasting time at this point, right? You're sending them on a wild goose chase. You knew damn good and well Cody did not have those children. You know damn good and well Cody did not take off to New Brunswick or back to Belinda's house with Jack and Lily. And then what? Belinda just showed up to help search for them, even though she knew that Cody had them. Come on now, Malaya. Shut up. Just don't even. He said he did not know what happened to Jack and Lily. Police noted he was home on May 2nd and never goes anywhere. He's not been anywhere other than his house recently and has not had contact with Malaya since the children went missing. Cody Sullivan underwent a polygraph on June 12th, and he passed the examination. His answers were found to be truthful, according to police. Lily and Jack's disappearance has been a hard go for the biological dad, who never fought for their custody, Grace said. Her son is living with her, and in their place is decorated for Christmas. Four other grandchildren, all bearing some degree of resemblance to Jack and Lily, will show up during the holidays to unwrap their presents. It forces you to stay in the here and now, Gray said, with their joyful presence. But Gray hasn't bought any gifts for Jack and Lily because what do I do with them afterwards? And I know there's going to be people coming at her for this, but that's bullshit. She doesn't believe the kids are here. So why? I agree. Why buy it? What are you going to do with it afterwards? And for anybody that comes after her for saying that, shame on you. Shame on you. She's hired a lawyer trying to get legal guardianship of her missing grandchildren, and let's pray to God that she actually gets that, because she's not a parent, but just a grandparent. CPS wouldn't divulge to her any previous concerns they've had about Jack and Lily's care. I'm sorry, the children are missing. What is it going to hurt for you to tell the grandma what the kids were going through and what you know? I don't understand that. Fill grandma in. So I'm seeking legal guardianship mainly for information. Gray is waiting to hear back from the courts. We're waiting to see if Malaya Brooks-Murray is going to dispute it. Gray wishes she had stepped in earlier to help care for Jack and Lily. If I had time back, she said, her voice trailing off, we would have gladly had Malaya Brooks-Murray drop them off so she could have a break. Gray has steeled herself to the possibility the children may never be found. The only thing I tell myself is I know that they know we love them. And Belinda, I know you're listening. And the kids do know and did know that you love them. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But do not let yourself go to that. If this had happened, if that had happened, if I could have time back, because it will do nothing but destroy you mentally. And we all know that you would have gladly taken the kids in a heartbeat without a second question asked. if you had known. So please do not go down that road. You are the only one, in my opinion, that has shown love and care. Your family, you know what I mean. Because Daniel, Malaya, Janie, the Martells, the Mackenzies, they are not, in my opinion, showing love for the kids. Cool. Are you talking about Shannon Hudson? She has an older daughter also named Meadow. TikTok, Daniel Martell. Malaya Brooks Murray. Who's KM? Nice to hear you say when this goes to trial. Well, it will. In my opinion, it will go to trial. And I just pray for the outcome. That the kids are found, it goes to trial, and those who are guilty are found guilty. Belinda cares the most for Jack and Lily, exactly. And when I say Belinda, I don't mean just Belinda. I mean Belinda and Cody and Chelsea, all of them on that side, right? Belinda's side of the family cares. It's just easier to say Belinda than to name everybody else off. Whereas Malaya's side and Daniel's side do not care, in my opinion. Malaya, don't look at us. Look over here. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to get you to look everywhere else except for what's going on. Belinda with hearts. Belinda with the hearts. In my opinion, the only person I would actually believe at this point is Belinda. Exactly. And that really is the only person I believe because, like I said, everything Belinda has ever said to me, I've been able to back up through something else or somebody else said it. So she's never lied to me. So I will believe Belinda at any point. Prayer hands, Belinda. Janie Martell, not KM. Okay. I was to say, I'm like, I thought I knew all the players. Who's K? You getting Sebastian and Jack and Lily all mixed up. So, all right. Why would Malaya Brooks Mary say, oh, check with the bio dad? Remember when Casey Anthony led law enforcement way into Disney and said she worked there, turned around, said she doesn't work there. Goose Chase, exactly. And I don't think it was Disney, if I remember correct. Wasn't it Universal? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was Universal, not Disney. It might have been Disney, though. Now you got me second guessing myself. I might have to go look that up. I thought Malaya was told by Cindy that Cody probably took the kids. But again, Malaya knows. Whether or not it was Cindy said it and Malaya called it in, whatever. They know. Malaya knows. Malaya knows what happened to these beautiful babies. And she just doesn't want to answer, or she's afraid to get in trouble. I don't know. But it's high time she speaks up, in my opinion. So I think what I'm going to do, let me look one more time real quick here for the information about the beach. And then we will go through I just lost all train of thought. We will go through Hidden in the Fog. And that where Cindy and all of them were Haley and all of that came out and talked. Maybe tomorrow. We're not gonna do it today because I'm already on here a little longer than I thought I would be. But I want to look one more time to make sure. Oh, that's court documents. Like I said, I have it. It's just really a matter of finding where I put it because I've got so many folders with so many different pictures. But essentially, the person said, "Isn't this the girl with the missing kids?" And Cheryl said, "Yeah, what about it?" And they said something to the effect of, "Well, why isn't she out looking for them?" or something or other like that. So I'm not finding it right off the bat here. So I will have to look for that, and we will go over that and hidden in the fog maybe tomorrow. So good night, Belinda. I am getting ready to get off here myself. So let's finish out. Let's see. Agree, someone needs to speak up. Is Malaya Brooks Murray still in the hospital? I personally have no knowledge of that. It's possible, but I personally have no knowledge, so I have to say I'm not sure. This old guy has to go to bed now, but we'll keep listening. Good night, all. Good night, Robin. I'm actually about to play the outro, and we're all gonna get out of here. That's what gets me. Why would Malaya Brooks Murray not look for her children? Because you don't look for something that's not lost, because you don't look for something you know where it is, and she knows there's no use, in my opinion only, and pure speculation. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna play my outro, and let's get out of here. It's a little over 2 hours. I'll search for that picture, like I said, and hopefully I can find it, and we'll go through Hidden in the Fog with Cheryl and Haley the next time I go live.
No amount of time will make us stray. We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts. You're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all. For all the lost, both near and far, you're in our hearts. You're who we are. We until you're home to stay.